I gotta say, I feel like I'm in heaven right now because those lights are just, I can't even see anybody else. So either I'm talking to St. Peter or I don't know what I'm doing. So maybe I should just start confessing now, trying to get this out of the way because I'm a midget, so there's no way that's gonna work for me. So I'm Kate. I'm in my 20s, so I don't know what I'm doing with my life, like every 20-year-old. And so I'm just kind of trying to figure out what I want to do. And I've just learned about all the kinds of crazy things you can do when you have spare time on your hands. So I'm a single woman, and so I've decided that I need to do hard-hitting investigations. This isn't the stuff you're gonna see on the news, okay? I'm doing the real stuff, all right? I go see candy bars in Job Lot. I don't know what country they're from. I buy them anyway. We gotta make sure. I mean, who knows? Polish could be making bad chocolate, guys, you know? And I come up with a lot of these jokes in my car, which is probably the worst place to come up with jokes because you really don't have any time to write. So a lot of my jokes are about cars. And I test drove a Ford. I really wanted to like it because it was cheap. And so I was like, please let me like this car. I look inside, the thing looks like a freaking spaceship. I mean, like, there's all these buttons. It's just all these columns and buttons. I'm like, this is too confusing. I don't want half of this stuff. So I just kind of feel like Fords are kind of like spaceships these days. Although I can't wait until our cars can drive themselves because I really want to know what they do when the cars get angry at each other. Because if we're having road rage, what kind of road rage are those cars gonna have? So I really hope that there's like some kind of computerized voice that when you get cut off, the computerized voice goes up and it's just like, fuck you, you cut me off, you freaking car. And I like to play games with my friends. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I don't know if you guys have ever played, but there's this game called Mafia, and you get cards, and then the card decides what you're gonna be. And so I play with my friend Amanda, and she's the worst at this game because if she doesn't get the Mafia, she'll be like, I'm not the Mafia, I'm not the Mafia. And you're just like, is she really telling the truth? She's like yelling that she's not the Mafia. This has to be a joke. So I accused her of being in the Mafia. She wasn't. So I think she's just like the worst person to play games with. There's one thing I noticed while driving. I feel like cold patch in this state is the solution to everything. You know, you go out there and it's like, is it a pothole? Well, we've cold patched it. Is it a road with a shit ton of potholes? We've cold patched that too. You know, I'm pretty sure the next time a bridge collapses, we're probably just gonna try to cold patch it. And I do think that one way for the state to raise funds, we have so much cold patch, why don't we just sell it to all the other states? Probably not, you know, we got all this excess. Do you ever go somewhere, like you're at somewhere new, you don't know anybody, and with all these different people, and then somebody just like treats you like you're gross? I swear I have something like that whenever I'm in a new place and there's guys, especially if I think a guy's attractive, he just will run away from me. Like, I took an improv class and they're just like, run across the room, and I'm like, cool, and I ran to his side, and then he immediately just bolted on me, like he just ran away from me, never came near me. I was like, do I have something on my face? Like, I don't know what it is. And to be honest, I think it's partially to do with my short hair, because like, yeah, it looks fine now, but then, you know, you take your headband off, and it just, when I wake up in the morning, it's just like this, you know, and it's like, I go out looking like this, I'm gonna get put in Butler, you know, because they're gonna be like, who the hell's walking around with hair like a bird? So, I have an Apple, and I like to take it to the Apple store, and I think that's the worst place to take your computer, because they're like so judgmental, and they always ask you like everything about your computer, you know, when did you buy it, what's the serial number, do you download illegal stuff, are you using iTunes, are you signed up for this? And they always check your computer like you're trying to screw Apple over. Like, I remember they checked my computer, and they're made out of like that thin metal, which is so easy to dent, so easy to scratch. So of course I scratched it. There were a couple dents too, because I was taking it in my car. You think I had abused a child? Like, they just looked at me, they're like, did you drop this computer? Did you put scratches on this computer? Yeah, I bought it. It's my computer. You don't have to act like I just killed a child or something. I definitely have to say that when I get up every morning and I want to go out, you know, I have to put on my bra. Like, even if I'm just gonna clean the floor, I have to put on my bra. Like, nothing gets done if I don't put on my bra. So if I can't find it, it's like, I'm done for the day. I give up, I go back to bed. I used to work at this place, and I had a guy, and he was like my Italian grandfather. The Italian grandfather I never had. He was always dressed really nice every day into work. Didn't matter if he came in at 6, didn't matter if he came in at like 10 o'clock. He was always well dressed. And he'd always come in, and you could tell it was him because he would come in exactly 5 minutes past his actual start time, and his excuse would be, I was washing my hands. I don't know who washes their hands for 5 minutes except this kid. And then he would come up and he would mutter things. Like one of my favorites was, Richard Nixon, Richard Nixon. Just all day, every time you walked around him, he'd be saying, Richard Nixon. Like, why? And he'd just be like, well, I was just thinking about Richard Nixon. So, I don't know why. And he must have been giving out his address to people, because one time a delivery came for him and it was a Ronald Reagan calendar. So you could definitely tell that he was just, and he was racist too. I mean, like, he was 21, just totally racist. You know, I'd be like, oh, I want to go to like one of those Temptations reunions concerts. And he'd be like, you know, there's going to be a lot of, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. There's going to be a lot of non-white people there. And I'm just like, geez, you're 21 and you're racist. Like, isn't life over for you at that point? I definitely do think that online dating has gone too far. Like, I know we lie about little things, you know, everybody's like maybe 10 pounds skinnier and a few inches taller, but like, I went on a date a while ago, and this guy lied about everything. He basically, you know, I figured we were gonna meet at the restaurant, he texts me, he's like, you know what, we don't have any, like, I don't have a car. Like, oh, I thought you had a car. Yeah, could you drive me there? He smells bad, all right? Smelled bad. So I had to like roll down my windows, and then I'm like, well, why don't you have a smartphone so you could at least look up where we're going? Oh, I don't have one of those. Do you have a printer? You can print out directions from Google. Oh, I don't have one of those. Do you have, you know, like, and then I'm like, well, what do you do? Oh, I'm a lawyer. There's no way this kid was a lawyer. He didn't have a car, didn't have a printer, didn't have a cell phone, it didn't smell good. And also he was like, you know what, I really don't like dealing with people. It makes me nervous. So it's like, well, why did you become a lawyer? And he's like, I thought it was research. I thought this job was a lot of research. And with all the law shows on TV, I just couldn't believe that anybody would think that. That's my time, guys. Have a good night. Enjoy the other comedians.